Oh guys, this is the first and probably only time we'll be reacting to Goji Center for GT Bros, not Josh Blaze this episode. Now,
this is gonna be Goji Center because Halloween, spooky, you know.
Also, Bloop. I'm not sure. I think James likes Bloop. He actually said he doesn't, but kinda likes Bloop, and I think James will learn to love Bloop in this episode, like we all will. Because Bloop's just a little sweetie that just wants kisses. See, Bloopy says... Bloopy says... People say Bloopy's like this. No, Bloopy's like this.
It's Bloop.
What the fuck you calling Bloopy? I thought it was like a joke.
Jesus, did you just go to hell?
Yes. You will.
You will if you don't subscribe.
Yeah. You know I was gonna say it. Okay.
3 questions.
No.
What if the bloop, as the myth describes it, was real? What will it take to feed this?
Wait, oh, no captions?
Yeesh.
No, there's. And is on the next page. You have to pay for the extra HD.
And we ain't paying for a shite.
Sorry, Goji.
It's not just Goji, it's YouTube.
No, Goji, sorry.
And third, what if we created our own biologically plausible bloop? The answer to these questions will be beyond frightening. So if you have the guts to face this alternative reality, by all means, keep watching. And subscribe! Lots of really good content will be released, so you don't want to miss any of this.
Godzilla vs. Bloop!
Woo!
We'll break down the bloop as we know it in a little bit, but first for...
Wait, why is that Kindle Monsters? Is that Kindle Monsters?
Yeah.
And not...
those of you who have...
What was that? And not a new one?
Probably because they have the model and they've been using it for so long.
Yeah, but they, you know, if you're gonna measure Godzilla, measure him now.
Can I,
absolutely no idea what the bloop is, give us like 40 seconds to help you catch up. In 1997, one of the most frightening discoveries of the century was made. A strange sound coming from the depths of the sea that rose in frequency and was heard across multiple sensors around the world, 3,000 miles apart. If we rule out that this sound was the sound emitted from a large bomb or submarine, this would have been a terrifyingly massive entity. And in the words of NOAA scientist Christopher Fox, this sound was far more powerful than the calls made by any animal on Earth. Meaning that, yes, this animal must have been many times louder. And as a result, many, many times larger than the largest animal living today, the blue whale. Alright, now let's talk about how big this guy kind of is.
Bauer. Just in case you don't understand, he's talking about fictional reality. Just in case you don't understand.
also unrelated, but to remember one thing, okay?
Tuna and nuts will like cream on them.
This, remember, he's gonna talk about like nature and devouring, but remember, that's just nature. Y'all suck it up.
And speculate what would happen to our oceans if this thing actually lived right now.
Whoa!
Yeah, we don't know.
Nah, we'll just wait, church. Okay.
For starters, let's take an estimated guess on the exact size for our what-if scenario.
Oh yeah, kind of game. Please react to us.
Koji, what's your obsession with size, man? Come on!
And the truth is, there is no exact size. This bloop is a result of pop culture's wild imagination, an animal portrayed as being as large as a regular whale to beyond titan proportions. Perhaps the most famous rendition of this animal was the infamous bloop from Boris Alboy's creation, Bloop vs. El Gran Maha.
Someone help this guy. El Gran Maha.
El Gran Maha.
We'll stick with this one. We took a 3D model of a similar animal and got to work.
Candy Cane's reaction video to that is really good. Maybe we should react to that video actually. Not the Candy Cane video, but you know.
Yeah.
Bloop around these proportions would have been 350 meters in length. That's already 3 times longer than the Monsterverse Kong
You could play cornhole.
and taller than the tallest cinematic version of Godzilla.
Get dunked on, bitch. Get dunked on.
This is the only time he's talked about Godzilla or Visit.
Yeah, I mean, he really does not like Toho movies. I mean, I can understand Toho is a dick.
And with some shifting, this
He only means in the rules. He, you know, no offense to workers there or careers, you know.
But like, stop being so strict.
This animal can already fit most of the kaiju in any continuity into its mouth pretty easily. Each tooth would have been between 2 to 6 meters long, depending on the exact one used. Another gnarly looking bloop would end up having a single tooth around 10 to 12 meters. Imagine each tooth being the
Ooh, poor her.
size of a T-Rex. The tail fluke alone would be around 183 meters wide from tip
So do you think this guy?
Whoa, can you?
Oh.
A second.
Sorry.
to tip.
Fuck, he's talking about tip stuff.
Do you think he would? Do you think he would casually munch on Spinosauruses and Mosasauruses for lunch, dinner, and breakfast?
80 meters tall if the mouth was opened really wide.
Ojisan's too saucy for me, you, himself even.
This planet.
How heavy is this thing? Alright, get ready for this one. With an average volume of 539,073 meters cubed,
As much as your mother.
and assuming body density comparable to most marine mammals, this results in a mind-boggling mass of 849,744 tons.
The fuck? Hope you know I legitimately made that noise. That.
The client review was brutal.
Guys, you better be careful. Bloopers coming for you. No.
Ew, she's wet!
Yeah. Keep your mind on Bloop.
Even with a big hollow cavity for the mouth taken into account,
So
we
he
can
close his mouth. The quote kinda keen. We don't know if Bloop can close his mouth.
already set
How does he keep his teeth clean? Does he have Listerol?
This string?
It's the most critical amongst you watching, thinking, there's absolutely no way that thing can eat enough to stay alive.
Alive.
Well,
Alive,
that's
man,
why-
alive.
To answer that, we need to figure out what even is this thing? Is it a mammal, reptile, or a large fish? Assuming that we are working with real biological families of animals to start from, the physical description and apparent ability to vocalize this loud would mean that the bloop would probably be a mammal, or at least closely related to them. Long streak.
This fucker can breathe air, you tell me?
Well, I remember in the kinda keen video we could breathe air.
No, I mean...
No, but that's the food it was based on. The
Look.
grandmother food.
That-
And in that, he needed air.
Streamlined body, a visible jaw formation, horizontal fluke, and 2 fins on
Wait! Does he be... So he doesn't look like he's immune. That looks pretty round to me.
We'll see.
the side. All hallmarks of a fairly modern whale, member of the Cetacea. So, unless we are looking at some
Oh, if you think I have something against Bloop, I don't.
Or Goju, sir.
Yeah, or Goju, sir.
Okay,
extreme case of convergent evolution, our very first guess is that this is some kind of whale. To find out what this thing will eat, let's first find out what's available on the menu. By finding out where it would live. The original sound came from the Southern Ocean, and coincidentally, this would actually be the best part of the planet where Bloop would live. Now, those of you who think that it's a little weird for this colossus to live in a desolate environment, consider that the Antarctic Ocean provides this massive, supposed warm-blooded animal with a natural coolant of sorts. Given this animal's sheer
Because probably
Everyone's gotta cool down sometimes.
Bloop is probably too big to cool itself down.
size, the fact that it generates its own heat from cellular activity, it's already going to be running hot. Because of this, Bloop may continuously fight a biological effect known as gigantothermy. And the fact that this thing burns a lot of calories, we now need to learn how this thing would feed itself. When it comes to feeding this thing, it's safe to say that the world's entire ecosystem will likely suffer. There's a reason why monsterverse kaiju such as Godzilla are labeled as animals that feed on radiation. Since there is relatively an infinite source of that, then there are things to eat. Getting this Bloop satisfied for the day will be nearly impossible. But let's pretend, for once, that it was. For a warm-blooded animal like a whale, each kilogram of body tissue needs around 25 to 40 calories a day.
This guy's talking about pretend, right? He said Shingatsu, the legendary.
I want you to know, a weaker former.
Nothing against, him. We're making the joke. Just saying, like he's pretended before, saying stuff like,
Yeah.
Some tissues, such as the brain,
it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've been wrong. I mean, literally, look at the last video. I tried.
Well, the chickens got clapped
to kill Joe, but I fucking died. So don't get upset. Goji, don't be.
Okay.
Need more calories. This would be even higher for bloop since it has to swim constantly against the water and because it thrives in cold temperatures. To make this simple and quick, a whale shaped like a bloop would need about 600 calories.
Go back, I was full.
To make this to swim
Now my suggestion, Bloop, just go to McDonald's. They'll feed you way more than that you need. Trust me. Ronald, I don't know. Ronald be making everyone fat. Bloop, you think you're fat? Go to McDonald's. You look skinny after. Before you went to McDonald's. Bitch.
I was mouthing the words.
Constantly against the water, and because it thrives in cold temperatures. To make this simple and quick, a whale shaped like a bloop would need about 30,834,975,600 calories every single day. And
Your average the same every single minute.
in all likelihood, this is kind of lowballing it. Bloop is infamous.
Godzilla was killing himself there. Maybe no, fuck it. Look.
And in all likelihood, this is kind of lowballing it.
No, my favorite Godzilla.
He's opened his mouth! He's trying to be able to open his mouth!
Godzilla's probably trying to burn a hole in his
Is
stomach.
infamously known online as a creature that loves to pull up on humans and waste calories on what would be an equivalent of eating an ant. Smaller, actually. If it was eating humans, which contain an average of 125,822 calories, this means
I knew you were gonna say
Bloop would have to eat around 245,000 people every day. That's around 70 mega cruise ships worth of people daily. That filter feeding stunt whales pull on krill and plankton? Bloop here would have to be doing that on people per scale if it could even reach them. But surely we'd imagine that there are never 245,000 people floating in the
that's me in the squat every
Southern
time.
Ocean all at once. So it would resort to eating the largest animals on the planet and gobble these record-sized whales constantly. It would be chugging down a whopping 40 large whales every single day. Even with supplements such as swallowing entire schools of fish, pods of whales, entire colonies of penguins, feeding this dude for a week
Oh no!
would nearly single-handedly crash entire ecosystems and the global food chain if it roamed the seas and continuously chased down food to eat without starving to death. What happens if you get eaten by one? We have a special episode coming out discussing this in detail.
Part 2!
So subscribe not to miss it, and to help fund our videos, make sure you check out our new Bloop t-shirt. Alright, so as much as we'd love for an animal this big to really exist, unfortunately, it's evident that an animal is large.
Would you really love an hour how big it would be in pain, wouldn't it? You know?
Oh,
Just
You know, it's tarantulas actually can't jump high. If a tarantula falls, they burst. They fucking explode. But I'm just telling you, tarantulas, boom, dead. Can't fall from a 2-foot fall. They're dead. Tarantulas are weak as fuck, boy.
Okay.
Isn't really sustainable on this planet. But here on Koji, we aren't going to leave our viewers with our arms crossed. We'll pretend evolution took an alternative turn and came up with a biologically plausible bloop. And what if, for
Why would
whatever
Mother Nature do this? Maybe she's on crack.
reason, Mother Nature saw fit to allow an animal to evolve into a gargantuan creature with the
Mother Nature, if you're watching us, do not let this happen. I deserve to exist. Know what?
characteristics of this notorious urban
Okay, you know
legend.
this one.
Would it
I brought me, yeah.
actually be this big? Would it be a feared predator? Or will it still be outright
Somebody call Chris Hansen.
impossible? Let's find out. The objective of this section is to hypothesize the largest animal possible as long as
How big do you think his dick would be?
I don't think he'd have a dick.
it is within plausible biological parameters.
But I don't think fish that big can mate asexually. Can they? Goji, you better answer us on your fucking video, Bally.
This means
That's a joke. That's a joke. But if I would love to see, I would talk about blue mating on a field. That would be pretty cool.
it's trying to get it to be bigger than the largest animal on Earth right now, the blue whale. This is an animal whose ancestors were actually not that big by today's standards. Baleen whales that lived during the Pliocene and Miocene were kinda small. In less than 5 million years, Mother Nature brought forth gargantuan creatures that exceeded 100 feet. So the ability for a titanic animal to evolve from a much smaller ancestor over a relatively short period of time is actually possible. Does this mean that our bioaccurate bloop is a whale? Not quite. To keep this realistic and to make the bloop as large as biology will let us, we have to select what kind of animal we are talking about. If the bloop were to evolve from the reptile class, then that really wouldn't have worked. These creatures were air breathers, and the animal that would have eventually evolved to bloop would have been hunted down or pushed out into a less hospitable environment. There is no evidence that suggests that they lived long after the Cretaceous. If they did, then we'd have a lot more shallow water-dwelling marine reptile fossils. But we don't. Would it come out of the marine mammal class? Or maybe from the larger sharks with warm-blooded characteristics? No. As mentioned already, an animal this big would still run into the issue of eating enough food to keep it running.
So it's a mammal.
Remember, we want our bloop to be larger than these whales. There is one class that might end up working out, actually. Bloop today would have its ancestors dating back to the Paleozoic, a time before the dinosaurs, and whose closest living relatives would look like this. No, seriously, this isn't a joke.
It's kind of cute, though.
It's a cassowary.
No, that's an axolotl.
Excellent.
Now, granted, there are no amphibians today that lived their whole lives in salt water, but there have been some in the past that have adapted to it. One group being the Trematosaurs, which survived a major extinction and thrived in the Triassic period. And slightly possible that they may have survived into the Jurassic. If they had adapted to live in deeper water as opportunistic predators and scavengers, they would have been just fine despite low food availability, which is a trait that the present-day amphibian-class bloop will need. Similar to how giant isopods and squids survive in the deep ocean with little or no food. Bloop's ancestors would have waited out food scarcity and then increased in size as the ecosystem improved. As whales entered the oceans, these ancient predators might have targeted them instead, evolving better swimming abilities while using
Sharks leave the ocean because how scared they are of blue whales.
Bloop. He comes from
ambush tactics.
And by the way, blue whales rip a shark's heart out of their body.
fucking Mortal Kombat fights onto you.
Like, really, it's actually quite sad. I don't know if it's bad, but something like that.
Okay.
Sharks are massive.
This adaptation would lead to
And people say they're heartless.
a gigantic amphibian that rests on the seafloor and waits for its prey, benefiting from changing ocean conditions that brought food closer to the surface. The Goji Center team and researchers have come up with a biologically
I can't stress this enough. No hates to Goji Center. It's Goji Center. Oh, we need a thumbnail. Sure.
plausible version of bloop and what it would have looked like if it evolved from this class.
Because, you know, Goji's bloop.
Maybe.
In Albion, no matter where you go or what you do, your mount will accompany you on your journey. Perhaps you'll pick the ox.
No. No, I won't pick him ox.
I'm picking
The
bloop.
bloop, or
I'm picking...
I'll be honest, bloop looks high as a fucking
version of bloop
Yep.
and what it would have looked like if it evolved from this class. The bloop.
What a beautiful little...
What a beautiful little guy.
What is
Or Cryocidin cetavinator is a massive amphibian potentially measuring 35 meters in length, weighing in at 300 to 420 tons. It features a jaw span of 6 to
Hey, yo, 420!
7 meters tall, with teeth ranging from 6 inches to 5 feet in length. This animal is really heavy. Almost too heavy, but with a few tweaks, this animal will be just fine. This creature's bones could have a lattice-like structure, providing strength without excess weight.
Ramen noodles looking ass.
SpongeBob looking ass bitch.
Being cold-blooded similar to reptiles, this bloop requires a lot less calories than a warm-blooded animal would, allowing it to thrive on a low-energy diet. It would still need around 2.3 million calories per day. Sounds like a lot, but this is actually less than some whales. Some amphibians will enter into torpor. This is a state where an animal such as a reptile or amphibian lowers their metabolism greatly. For amphibians and reptiles, this state is technically called brumation, the equivalent of hibernation for mammals. This way, bloop will be able to repmation, the equivalent of
I'm sorry, but bro.
Hey, bad terror.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
hibernation for mammals. This way,
Bloop just looks fucking mad.
bloop will be able to rest and spend long periods of time without having to eat. Its amphibian nature enables it to extract oxygen from the water itself, allowing said periods of dormancy. Waking up when conditions are more favorable.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, these youngs.
preferable and going out
Lord, he survived. Oh, let me tell you, that wasn't very reassuring, eh?
to hunt. How? Well, here's where things get interesting. Bloop could remain stealthy through slow movement and effective camouflage, taking advantage of its surroundings to catch
Yeah, Jack, be smart. First of all, no need to shout. And secondly, what the
Fuck is Jack?
surroundings
I don't know, honestly. I really don't know.
to catch prey off guard. This involves ambushing prey from the seafloor, targeting young whales, and utilizing a suction feeding method for smaller schools of fish or big giant or
Luke, you know what I said about Chris Sampson?
we might need to call him.
Sucking the little ones? Schools of little ones?
Wait.
or colossal squid that would be
I think I watched that in hentai once.
found in
Oh, twice.
its hunting territory. To navigate through this said territory or mating, this creature would have also developed unique vocalizations thanks to its adapted lungs.
He'd make a bloop.
I guess.
Crucial for finding mates and communicating to another bloop over a very large distance, similar to how whales communicate. Historically, there have been reports of mysterious creatures in the Antarctic. Creatures like
I wonder if he's gonna do a film in Ninja.
the Ningen. If this
The Ningen. Ningen.
animal was alive today, with the creatures in the Antarctic. Creatures like the Ningen. If there have been reports of mysterious creatures in the Antarctic. Creatures like the Ningen. If this animal was alive, of mysterious creatures in the Antarctic. Creatures like the Ningen.
What?
The fuck?
Any other names, will you?
If this animal was alive today, with the change in the world's oceans and rapid decline in the population of Antarctic whales, these apex predators would have to face changing circumstances, either going extinct or seeking other areas in search of food. And be it those areas are the places where humans thrive or seek their own sustenance, there would potentially be a pretty bad combination.
That's a Mahi. That's Grandmama. Look, the eyes are on the mouth. Wait.
Let's see.
That's Grandma.
It's Grandmama.
Maha.
Wait, look, her teeth. Wow. That was
It takes single-mindedness, it takes an ability to be comfortable in moments of great threat and violence.
It takes being
Violence. Acts of violence.
Well, goodbye.
Speaking of acts of violence, lads, hey, aren't you gonna say a few words?
Well, one last thing, guys. Remember, be like Bloop and always be on the lookout for food.
Be like Blue. Be smart.